Hey everyone, Garen here, and in this short video I'm going to show you how you can transfer your Xbox Game Pass or Xbox game save data for Forza Horizon 5 over to your Steam. So maybe you've picked up a Steam Deck recently, or you've picked up some games from the Xbox Game Studio sale. So the problem we have is, for whatever reason, you have to start a fresh save on Steam. Now, this could be avoided because Microsoft's done it for other games such as Sea of Thieves, where the save data transfers as you sign in, but for some reason with Forza, they've decided not to do that. Now, there could be some technical reasons behind this based on how the folder structure is different or how the save games work, but for Forza Horizon 5, there's no excuse. So what we're going to be doing in this video is transferring the files over, which you could do manually, but much easier to use this utility. So I'll pop a link to this in the description. Now, this is GPSaveConverter by FreeDAN or FR33Dan, also known as PC Game Pass Save File Converter. Now, one prerequisite is you are going to have to install and launch the game on both Steam and Xbox on the computer you're doing this on. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can download the game from Game Pass, run it to get the local save data. Same for Steam, buy it, install it, and run it so that you get the Steam folder structure, and then we should be ready. Now, this doesn't work with Forza Horizon 4, unfortunately, but it does work with Forza Horizon 5. I'm yet to try out other games, but on the GitHub page, there should be a list, and you can obviously do some Googling. But this video is going to focus on Forza Horizon 5. I'm also going to show you how to fix a really niggly issue that took me ages to find out, with Reddit threads strung about here and there and comments that don't exactly have the full fix in place. So let's get started. I'll confirm I've opened and launched this game, and I've opened and launched this game. Now, Xbox is where the source of truth is. That's where my save data is. So the next thing we're going to do is go to this URL here, to the GitHub page, and then on the right you see releases. So I've already got that tab open here, releases, and all you need to do is download GPSaveConverter.exe. So what I've done is I've set up a little folder here in my documents, where I've got the GPSaveConverter right here. Now if I zoom in a bit, just so you can see that a bit better, what you want to do is simply launch this, and what will typically happen for most people is you'll get a Windows Smart screen saying, do you wish to run this app? Just say yes. If you're like me, you get this message. So for now, let's pretend I didn't get this message. I'm going to quit the app, and I'll quickly come back to you with the working version of the app to show you what the process is, and then I'll also show you how to fix the app like I did. Okay, so I've copied over my fixed version here, and if I open this one up, you can see at the bottom, getting UWP package manifests. Now, those are Windows apps, so Windows applications from the Microsoft Store and Xbox games use something called UWP to run on Windows. Not all of them, but a lot of them do, and that's Microsoft's sort of new way of running applications versus the traditional exe in C program files, etc., etc. You could make a whole video or training course on UWP packages, but that's essentially all you have to know for now, and that's sort of the reason why the save data doesn't transfer across. But being in the cloud, it could as easily just be downloaded into the same source code that Steam's hosted through the cloud. Now, on this, once it scans the packages, you'll be able to see all of your Xbox games, even the ones in which it doesn't work. So, like I mentioned, the Forza Horizon 4 doesn't work on this list to move the files over, and that's because the folder structure is slightly different. But Forza Horizon 5 does. So if we select Forza Horizon 5, now essentially what you have here is the Xbox save files and the non-Xbox save files. So you can mouse over these two locations to see where they are. So the non-Xbox is my Steam data, and the Xbox save files is buried deep in my program files. So we can open these up in Windows Explorer. So we can see here this is the Steam user data, and we can see here this is the Xbox user data. Now what I believe happens, if we go back one directory, you can see all the save game files you have here, and if you open these up, they all have a number of files in them. Now I believe these are compressed files that contain the save data that the Xbox app can read. So what this application is doing is copying them across and making sure that they're all in a format that Steam can read. Now, what this application can't carry over, unfortunately, is the liveries. So any liveries you've made and different tunes and things like that, but it can copy across the majority of the stuff you need, like your cars, money, profile data, etc. So all we really need are these user files down here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that before you do anything, you make a backup. So what I'm going to do is explore non-Xbox files. Now I can see here Steam user data, blah 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 blah. Here are my non-Xbox files. So this is my Steam data. Now, as I mentioned, I've already done this and copied them across. So what I'd like to do is make a backup of this. So I'm going to copy those and I'm going to make a new folder here and call it Steam Save Data Backup. And I'm going to paste that in there. Now, if you're doing multiple games, obviously what you want to do is make sure you label them properly so that you know exactly where each one is. Now, because I've already done this, the process is not going to be fair, but what I'll try and do is replicate what happens just so you know exactly what you need to do. So you select your game and you can see the Xbox save files. You've now backed up your Steam files just in case anything happens, and you can even back up the Xbox one in the exact same way if you need to. At the bottom, you want to make sure that it's picked up your Xbox profile and that it's picked up your Steam profile. Now, if I click on Profile 2, you can see that matches the Xbox one, and Profile 1 is my Steam. It should populate a picture and an ID down here. Not too sure why it doesn't on mine. It should do on yours. And simply, all you want to do is click Move All Files to the non-Xbox save. Now, if you have liveries, you are going to get a pop-up that says Ignore, Abort, or Continue. Just hit Ignore. Keep on hitting Ignore. You might have to do it a lot based on the files in here. But essentially what we're making sure of or looking for is to ensure that all of these have been moved, the user files. Once you've copied all of those across, you want to explore the explore the non-Xbox files into your Steam, and then you want to scroll down to the bottom. And what you'll see is you'll have a bunch of files down here. I wonder if I can replicate it and just see if I move the selected files down, transfer complete. Perfect. So that's exactly what we want to see. If I organize this by date modified, just so you can see exactly what's happening here. So what we have is a couple of files here with a similar name. So you see user 90092 etc. .profile backup. And then right below it, you see user $Xbox profile ID .profile data. And they both have the same amount of kilobytes there because I've already done this. But what you want to do is essentially take all the matching ones, so profile data to profile data, profile backup to profile backup. If I sort it by name again, just so you can start seeing these. And then on these ones, where it says user underscore with an ID, you can either right-click rename, or you can click inside the text box, or you can press F2 to quickly go to rename. And what we want to do is copy the number. Now, you can either keep that on your clipboard or you can put it into a notepad file. And then all of these ones here where you see Xbox profile ID, what you want to do is come in here and paste it there. So user underscore and the same number. So before you do that, you want to come down here and you want to delete all of these. And they're gone. And now you want to do F2, come up here, and then you want to paste that in there. Do that for all the user underscore dollar Xbox profile ID files. Now, as I mentioned, because I've already done this, I'm not going to complete this process. In fact, what I'm going to do is delete everything in this folder and restore my backup because mine is already complete. There we go. Now, from this point, you should be able to launch the game on Steam. Steam will start a sync and you should get all the achievements flowing in the bottom right corner, and then you should be able to go ahead and see all your cars come in and the money come in for your Forza profile. If you encounter an issue where it comes up on screen and says that you have a different version of the game or it's unable to sync, what you want to do is open up the Xbox app on your PC with Forza Horizon closed and hit sign out. Then, after Xbox has been completely signed out, you want to log back into Steam, sign in, and it'll sync the data. Essentially, what's happening there is you may have different DLCs or a different version of the game on Steam versus the Xbox Cloud save that you've added into your Steam. So when it's trying to sync your account while also adding all the details on that save game, the save game's expecting a different version than it actually has. So once you've signed out of Xbox, it should start syncing. It'll update your game and it'll ask you to restart your game. Then you should be able to come in. Now, let's say you have that issue I had at the start. So if you don't have that issue in launching the application, feel free to stop watching. But if you are like me and you are unable to get the application to open after you download it, I'll show you how to fix that. So like I mentioned, if it's like me and you don't have this fixed copy, but you have the original copy, which comes up with this error message, it's a bit of a convoluted fix, but it should be pretty easy to follow. So the first thing you want to do is download Visual Studio IDE. So I've just got the normal Visual Studio installed on my machine. And what you want to do is go back to the GitHub page on the Releases tab, and you also want to download the source code.zip. So I'm going to click on that and start the download. And then I'm going to drag that into the same folder where I have the application. Now the next thing I'm going to do is right click on this source folder.zip and extract the contents. Now you have the full source code of the application. So if you read the error message that it gives you when you open the application, you can see that what's missing in the details is the System.Security.Principal.Windows version 1.1.0. Now, I believe this is due to Windows updates and the project has been updated in a couple of months, but I'm running the latest Windows 11 24H2, and I believe that the current version is version 5. Now, there's no real way or nice way to roll this back, so what we want to do is open this up in Visual Studio. So you've downloaded Visual Studio, and I'm going to open up Visual Studio 2022 here. I'm going to copy the location of the documents where all my files are. And if I bring Visual Studio over here, what we want to do is open a project or a solution. And now you want to paste that location in where you save the .zip file that we've extracted. Open up that .zip file and open up the extracted .zip file folder and open up the folder inside, and you can see we have a Visual Studio solution in there. Now click open. So now we've got the solution open. You can go through, if you know your way around Visual Studio, this will all be very simple for you, but in case you don't, the only thing we need to do is go up to Tools, NuGet Package Manager, and Manage NuGet Package Solutions for this project. Now, essentially, what we're going to be doing is pulling the latest version of System.Security.Principal.Windows into this application and then rebuilding it. So if we go back in here, what you may get is Microsoft Visual Studio offline packages, in which case, when you start searching for this system here, I'll copy that and paste it into the Browse section, you are not going to find anything. If you take away the .windows and just Principal, you will find something, but this is not the correct one. So what you want to do, if that is the case, is make sure you have the NuGet.org source. To do this, click on the gear cog icon next to the package source, and what you can do is click on the plus button and name it NuGet.org and put this source in here. I'll leave that in the description for you to copy and paste as well. Then you can click on update and add. Now what this does is it queries NuGet's website for the packages, and as we saw, it's already on there. So if I paste that in here and hit enter, you can see we have System.Security.Principal.Windows. So click on that and then tick the project you'd like to install it to, and you can see the version there, the latest. We're just going to hit install. You can see the progress down below go through, and it says Visual Studio is about to make changes to this solution. You can click on apply. Now you may get these little warnings below here saying it has a known severe vulnerability. That's just because some of the packages and code in this application are out of date, hence why some of you will see that smart screen when you go through and it works. So we've installed that package. We just have an uninstall package now. So the next thing you want to do is go up to build and rebuild solution. I forgot about this part. So you can see here, this is a great part about doing demos. Invalid resx file, if I move my face out the way, invalid resx file could not find SteamAPI.txt. So to fix that, it is very, very simple. So what we want to do is follow that location here. So what it wants us to do is go into this folder, and then we want to go into the resources folder, and in here we simply want to make a new text file and call it SteamAPI key.txt. This .txt, I believe, just holds the Steam API key when the application is running. So now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is expand this on the right and just make sure, there we go, we have the Steam API key there and it's loaded into the solution. So what I can do now is go to build and rebuild solution, and that's going to go through, and fingers crossed the second time works for us. So looking through this here, rebuild all succeeded. So now you have two options to run the application. You can either go through on the folder structure, into bin, into debug, and run the .exe that we've just created, and you should see it scans the UWP packages properly without any crashing. Or you can also just hit the start button at the top of Visual Studio. This is going to run the exe exactly the same way as we just did, except you have diagnostic tools and a debugger on the bottom, but it'll still work the exact same. That'll let you go through and you can merge the Xbox files across to your Steam account. So I hope this video has been helpful for anyone who's bought the game on sale and thought, oh my god, my progress is lost. Or, like me, bought it on a Steam Deck and thought, where the hell are all my cars? Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a way to do this for Forza Horizon 4. I think there's a manual way for Forza Horizon 3. I'm unsure on Forza Motorsport as I don't have that game on Steam, but your mileage may vary. Feel free to try other games, and I'm sure the GitHub page will be updated soon with more games as the developer gets time to work on it. But I hope this video has been helpful for anyone, and if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them the best I can. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.